Did you know that breakfast could quietly be harming your body, even shortening your life? For many older adults, a bowl of eggs paired with a few familiar sides has been the go-to morning routine for decades. It feels simple, maybe even healthy. But when certain foods are mixed with eggs, even everyday items you've probably eaten 1,000 times, they can turn from fuel into danger. Some combinations even affect your blood vessels and heart. And the scariest part? You'd never even notice the damage building up. In this video, we're diving into 5 specific foods that should never be eaten with eggs, especially if you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. These pairings aren't just bad for you. They can silently contribute to chronic health issues like high blood pressure, blood sugar spikes, organ damage, and even cancer over time. And no, this isn't one of those dramatic videos that exaggerates to scare you. Everything we cover is backed by patterns. Doctors have observed over years of treating older patients. Some of these pairings are more dangerous than you'd expect, not because the foods themselves are inherently terrible, but because of what they do together inside your body. Stay with us until the end of this video, because you'll not only learn which food combinations to avoid, but you'll also start to see your morning plate in a whole new way. The goal here isn't to make you feel afraid, it's to give you control. Because when you understand how these simple choices affect your body, you're far better equipped to protect your health and energy in the years to come. Now let's take a closer look at what could be sitting in your very next bowl. Number 1, processed meats like bacon or sausage. One of the most common and most dangerous combinations people make with eggs is pairing them with processed meats like bacon, sausage, or ham. At first glance, it seems like a hearty traditional breakfast. You've probably seen it on diner menus your entire life. But what few people realize is that these processed meats often contain preservatives called nitrates and nitrites. And when these compounds interact with the proteins in eggs, especially under heat, they can create harmful substances called nitrosamines. These chemicals are not just unhealthy, they're linked to increased cancer risk, especially in the digestive tract. Many doctors who work with older adults say the same thing. It's not the occasional indulgence that causes harm, but the daily habits we stop thinking about. Bacon and eggs every Sunday might be one thing, but every day, that's when problems build up quietly. Over time, this combination has been associated with inflammation in the arteries, higher blood pressure, and increased oxidative stress, which accelerates aging inside your body. There's also another layer to this pairing: saturated fat and sodium. Processed meats are often loaded with salt, and when you combine that with the cholesterol in eggs, it creates a recipe for strain on the heart. For someone in their 60s or 70s who may already have less elasticity in their arteries, this is no small matter. A breakfast like this floods the body with compounds that stiffen blood vessels and increase the workload on your heart before you've even started your day. Now, this doesn't mean you need to give up everything you enjoy. The goal here is to be aware. If you love eggs, there are much safer ways to enjoy them. Pair them with fiber-rich vegetables, avocado, or a slice of whole grain toast. These kinds of sides actually support your heart and help the body process cholesterol more smoothly. I knew a man named Roger. He was 72 when I met him, and he told me proudly that he had eaten bacon and eggs every morning since his army days. He looked healthy on the outside, but he had no idea how hard his arteries were working underneath it all. When his doctor finally showed him what was going on with his heart, he was stunned. He thought his daily routine was harmless. But like a lot of us, he didn't realize that what we eat every day quietly shapes the way we age. So next time you reach for those eggs, take a second to think about what's going alongside them. Your body is still doing its best to protect you, but it needs your help. Number 2, white bread or pastries. There's something comforting about a warm piece of toast or a buttery pastry beside your eggs. It brings back memories, early mornings, coffee brewing, maybe even your grandkids sitting at the table. But here's the part we never really talk about pairing eggs with refined carbs. Like white bread or sweet breakfast rolls quietly creates a blood sugar disaster, especially for older adults. See, eggs on their own don't raise blood sugar much. They're a good source of protein and healthy fat. But when you add something like white toast, a croissant, or even a plain bagel, it changes the entire metabolic response of your meal. The refined carbohydrates in those breads break down rapidly in your digestive system, turning into sugar almost instantly. And because eggs contain no fiber to slow it down, that sugar rushes into your bloodstream like a flood. Your body scrambles to produce insulin to handle the spike. And if this happens day after day, it can wear out your insulin response. That means more fat storage, more inflammation, and over time, a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Even if your weight seems normal for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, your metabolism isn't as fast as it once was. Your cells may already be a little resistant to insulin, and when a blood sugar spike hits harder and stays longer, it puts more stress on your body than you might expect. That sluggish feeling you get an hour after breakfast, it might not be age. It might be your body struggling to recover from the crash. Now add this to the fact that these refined carbs offer almost nothing in the way of nutrients or fiber. They don't support your digestion, your heart, or your energy. They just fill you up quickly and leave your system strained. Worse yet, when eaten with eggs, they create a breakfast that feels filling but fails to fuel you. There's a woman I once met in Florida named Jean, 76 years old, sharp as a tack. She loved baking. Every morning she'd slice a fresh sweet roll and fry up 2 eggs beside it. But after a few years, her energy dipped, her weight crept up, and her doctor told her she was pre-diabetic. She was shocked. She thought she was doing everything right. But all it took was switching her morning pastry to oatmeal with seeds and berries. And within months, her numbers stabilized. So what's the better alternative? Whole grain bread with visible seeds, or better yet, a side of vegetables or fruit with a low glycemic index. You're still enjoying your eggs, but you're giving your body something that digests slowly, supports blood sugar balance, and keeps you full longer. It's the kind of small change that doesn't feel like sacrifice, but makes a big difference over time. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, sugary drinks like juice or sweetened coffee. It's easy to assume that a glass of orange juice or a cup of sweetened coffee is just a nice, harmless addition to your morning eggs. After all, we've seen commercials for decades that show a balanced breakfast with eggs, toast, and a bright glass of juice. But for older adults, especially those watching their weight, blood sugar, or liver health, this simple habit can cause more harm than you'd ever imagine. Here's why starting your day with sugar, especially liquid sugar, gives your body a jolt it isn't built to handle, particularly in later life. When you combine protein and fat from eggs with a sugary drink, your body is forced to process very different nutrients all at once. The caffeine or fructose in that drink can spike blood sugar, stress your liver, and confuse your metabolism. And because it's in liquid form, the sugar hits fast, faster than your body can properly manage. Juice, for example, seems healthy. It comes from fruit, right? But when fruit is juiced, all the fiber is removed. What you're left with is a concentrated source of sugar, similar in effect to soda. And if you sip it alongside a plate of eggs, thinking you're having a healthy meal, your blood sugar can jump quickly, then crash just as fast, leaving you tired, foggy, and hungry again far too soon. Sweetened coffee drinks can be even worse. A flavored latte or sugary, cream-filled coffee may contain as much sugar as a dessert. And when paired with the fat and protein in eggs, it sends mixed messages to your body, forcing your digestive system to work overtime while your insulin levels surge. Over time, this routine takes a toll. The liver, which helps regulate sugar and fat processing, can become overwhelmed. This can contribute to fatty liver disease, something that's quietly rising in older populations, often without symptoms until it becomes serious. It can also affect triglycerides, the kind of fat in your blood that increases heart disease risk. I once met a man named Alan, 68, who told me, "I thought I was eating clean. I had eggs and a glass of fresh juice every morning," but he couldn't figure out why he kept gaining belly fat and feeling sluggish. His doctor showed him how much sugar was in that 1 cup of juice. After cutting it out and switching to plain tea or water with lemon, his energy came back, and his blood tests improved in just a few months. You don't need to give up your favorite drinks entirely, but drink them wisely. If you enjoy juice, have a small amount with fiber-rich food later in the day, never on an empty stomach. And if you love coffee, try it unsweetened or with a little cinnamon instead of sugar. Breakfast should fuel your body, not fight it. And when you choose what goes in your cup as carefully as what's on your plate, your whole system works better. Your brain stays sharper, your energy lasts longer, and your heart says thank you without saying a word. Number 4, high sodium sauces like soy sauce or ketchup. Sometimes it's not the food itself, but what we add on top that quietly creates the biggest problem. A little squirt of ketchup, a dash of soy sauce, maybe a dollop of hot sauce. These are the kinds of things we barely think about, especially when we've used them for decades. They taste good. They add comfort and flavor. But when it comes to eggs in your heart, these condiments can quietly tip the balance in the wrong direction. Most people don't realize how much sodium is packed into just 1 tablespoon of sauce. For example, regular soy sauce can have over 800 milligrams of sodium in a single tablespoon. Ketchup, around 150 milligrams plus added sugar. And when you combine this kind of salty or sweet topping with a food like eggs, which already contains cholesterol and a bit of natural sodium, it adds up faster than you think. Why does this matter more as you get older? Because aging arteries aren't as flexible as they used to be. The kidneys work a bit slower, and the body doesn't process salt as efficiently, which makes it easier for blood pressure to climb even without warning signs. Many older adults have what's called salt sensitivity, meaning their bodies respond more strongly to sodium, and their blood pressure can rise even when their salt intake seems modest. Eggs by themselves can be a heart-healthy food when prepared with care. But the moment we add high-sodium sauces, especially multiple times a week, we unknowingly create a situation where our blood vessels are under constant pressure. Over time, that can lead to hypertension, fluid retention, or added strain on the heart. Even mild blood pressure elevations over the years can increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Now, to be clear, this isn't about blaming sauce. It's about awareness. Most of us never measure it out. We just drizzle or pour, and we assume a little bit won't hurt. But a little bit 3 times a day, 5 days a week for 20 years, that's not so little anymore. I remember one woman, Ellen, who was 75 and spry as could be. She loved her eggs over easy with soy sauce, a habit she picked up while living abroad in her younger years. When her doctor warned her about her rising blood pressure, she was baffled. She didn't eat chips or fast food. But once she started reading nutrition labels, she saw it clearly. Her breakfast routine was quietly loading her body with salt every single day. She didn't stop eating eggs. She just switched to herbs and spices, things like paprika, turmeric, black pepper, and parsley to flavor her meals. Her food still tasted wonderful, and her blood pressure dropped within weeks. It's a small change, but an important one. Your heart will notice. Your kidneys will thank you. And your body, especially in later years, will respond well when you lighten the load, even in something as simple as what goes on top of your eggs. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, fried, starchy sides like hash browns or fries. There's something about a plate with eggs and a golden pile of hash browns that just feels complete. Maybe it reminds you of your favorite diner or slow Sunday mornings when the house smelled like coffee and oil. But here's the hard truth when starchy foods are fried. Especially when paired with eggs, it creates a meal that feels filling but quietly clogs your body's inner systems, particularly after 60. Hash browns, fries, even tater tots. These are all made from simple starches, usually white potatoes, that absorb oil like a sponge when cooked in hot fat. They don't just get crispy, they get dense with calories, oxidized fats, and something called acrylamides. These compounds form during high heat frying and have been studied for their potential cancer risk. But even before that level of concern, there's something more immediate: your digestive system. When you eat fried starch with eggs, your body is hit with a wall of fat, very little fiber, and no slow digesting nutrients to help ease the process. It's heavy, it's sluggish, and it slows down everything: your digestion, your energy levels, even your circulation. For many older adults, especially those with slower metabolism or digestive sensitivities, this combo often leads to bloating, fatigue, or even constipation later in the day. Let's also talk about how these meals affect your arteries. The combination of cholesterol from eggs and trans fats, or oxidized oils from fried sides, can increase LDL cholesterol, lower HDL, and raise inflammation in your blood vessels. That means your heart has to work harder, your blood becomes stickier, and over time, the risk of plaque, buildup, stroke, or heart attack quietly goes up, even if your weight is stable. I once met a man named Charles, 84 years old, retired mechanic, full of stories. He used to eat eggs and home fries every morning because it reminded him of his years working early shifts in the garage. But when his doctor showed him his blood markers, triglycerides through the roof, sluggish liver enzymes, he made one small shift: roasted vegetables instead of fried potatoes. Within 6 months, his energy came back, and he told me he could walk farther, breathe easier, and even think more clearly. The issue here isn't potatoes, it's how they're prepared and what they're paired with. If you enjoy starch in the morning, try switching to steamed or oven-roasted sweet potatoes. Add some greens on the side. Keep the eggs, but skip the fry pan soaked in oil. You're still getting a satisfying meal, but you're also giving your body nutrients it can actually use to support your muscles, brain, and heart. Small habits repeated every day build the body we live in. And the older we get, the more those little choices add up, either towards strength and clarity or toward fatigue and risk. Don't let a comforting plate be the reason your body feels weighed down. There are better ways to nourish yourself, and they're not far off from what you're already doing. Just a bit smarter, a bit lighter, and a whole lot kinder to the you of tomorrow. Final thoughts. Piros or nemerceron mas. By now, you've probably taken a closer look at your morning plate and maybe even spotted one or two habits you never thought twice about. That's the power of awareness. It's not about guilt. It's about giving yourself the tools to stay sharp, energized, and in control of your health, even as the years move on. So, which of these 5 pairings surprised you the most? Have you ever caught yourself pouring juice beside your eggs or sprinkling on a little too much ketchup without thinking? These moments aren't mistakes, they're opportunities. Each small change you make is a quiet promise to your future self that you're still paying attention, still learning, and still building a stronger body with every meal. When we're in our 20s or 30s, our bodies bounce back from almost anything. But in our 60s, 70s, or 80s, every bite counts just a little more. Your digestion slows, your blood vessels tighten, and your body takes longer to recover from the things it once brushed off. That's not a flaw, it's just the way aging works. But the good news is your body also responds more clearly to better choices. Swap that sugary drink for herbal tea. Trade that fried potato for roasted squash. Use fresh herbs instead of salt. These are the kinds of shifts that bring energy back to your mornings, clarity to your mind, and ease to your joints. It's never about perfection. It's about momentum. The more you choose what supports your health, the more your body thanks you in ways you'll feel every single day. Whether that's deeper sleep, steadier energy, better digestion, or clearer blood work, it's all connected. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.